Salveti senatores omnes, Domini doctres, Domini magistri, Salveti hospites undique hic benedicissime congregatum. Comitia fiant in nomine Dei. Amen.
Pro Cancelari, totaque universitas, heros ein celebrandus ad est, et fortis, et insons, pectori qui indomito, spe meliori viget. Qua parest observantia academici, ad vos nunc duco, virum, inter omnes qui nostra aetate de iuribus humanis vindicandis contenderunt facile principem, prae honorabilem Nelson Mandela, rei publicae Africae meridionalis antea praesidem admodum venerabilem. E familia primaria appertembuenses ortus, atqui in terra viridi et amoina ultra flumen caeanum nutritus, puro David consimilis, patris always custodiebat, nec sciebat fore, ut ad populos suos regendos vocaretur. Patris post mortem intempestivam, patronus regius illum in domum magnam ascivit. Ubi simul gubernandi rudimentis imbutus est, simul discipulus apud Wesleyanos in moribus ac doctrina feliciter processit. Tunc Juvenis in urbis Johannes vicos suburbanos subito translatus est, quo in loco iter longum et heroicum inivit libertatis ad finem tam pertinacitur directum. Illic tirocinium forensi explevit. Illic juris consultus, cum socio et amico caro Olivero Tambo, diu et impense pro patriae inculis subjectis laboravit. Illic cum comitibus fidelibus inter cohortes congressus Africani nationalis Juvenum sodalitatem condidit, quo facto in congressu juventutis spiritu renato emanere mox incapit, hastam illam incudit, qua acrius contra vim rectorum curtatum est. Si vero, ut verbis eius uta, curtamen ei vita tota fuit, ipsi curte, si quis alius, curtamini impetum vitalem addidit. Illi in carceri diro multos annos custodito, pugilis cosani animus obstinatus nunquam defuit, nec hortorum cultoris expectatio bona illam unquam deseruit. Tyranni vultui gravius instanti pugnum fortius opposuit, et cum demum vox meteor audita est, concordiae manum inimicis ultro obtulit. Ad raro soli in vias novas illi progendiendum erat, sed cum orationis eloquentia, tum consilii prudentia, so dalibus cursum semper expedivit. Donec multa post discrimina, quod e puro de patria emancipata somniabet, id die aprili sex anti annis venit, cum Africae meridionalis senatus, omnium civium suffragis electus est. In conspectu habetis, virum constantia eximia magnanimitate singulari dotatum, quem facest mihi mori antiquo patrem patriae numcupare. Dum nomen valde honorabile in album nostrum honoris causa inscribit, vos illum academici plausibus per subselia iterumque germinatis salutate.
Illustrissime, quem summam implitudinem, summam claritatem, meritis consectutam nostra laurea academica ornare latam. Ego actortati mihi concessa, admitto te ad gradum doctoratus in utroque iure, tam civili quam canonico honoris causa.
Pro-Chancellor, members of the University, distinguished guests, it is indeed a great privilege for this university to enrol today among its graduates a man whose character and achievements has captured the imagination of the entire world, and I think your applause attests to that today, and a man who undoubtedly is one of the greatest statesmen of the past century. And it's now a particular pleasure for me to invite him to address us.
Provost, President Makaluz, members of Trinity College, Ladies and gentlemen, there is a story I often tell in meetings of this nature. I do so in order to put the record straight. So many nice things have been said about me here, and it is time you hear the other side. I phoned a distant place in my country, and a lady answered the telephone. In my innocence, I said, "To whom am I speaking?" And she replied, "You are speaking to me." I say, "Lady, I know I'm speaking to you, but what is your name?" She said, "Who are you to ask for my name? What is your name?" I say, "Well, as soon as you tell me your name, I'll tell you mine." And as we argued who should tell the other his or her name, she lost her temper. She said, "You seem to be a backward person. Have you passed your matric?" Now, my matric is the entry examination to university in our country. So I said, "Lady, you have to be very careful. If the qualification to speak to you is the possession of a matric certificate, I might study hard and pass my matric and join your ranks." She said, "You will never join my rank," and banged at the telephone. How I wish she were here today. Here today to see me pass my matric. The people of South Africa have inspired the world by putting behind them a conflict of centuries. Their triumph, with the support of the international community, over an inhuman system of oppression, has engendered hope wherever people seek justice, freedom, and a better life, especially for the poor. It has therefore been my privilege, as one who represented them through the years of transition, to have received many honors in tribute to their achievements. As frequent as such occasions have been, each is unique in its significance and profound in the emotions it evokes. For each one expresses in the giving and in the receiving of honors an affinity of ideas and values between peoples, each with their own histories, and together having a particular relationship one to another. And so today, we are celebrating bonds of friendship and solidarity, bonds that have been nurtured by a common experience of centuries of oppression and the shared fulfillment of ideals of freedom and dignity. Such was the solidarity of the people of Ireland, that they were in the vanguard of the international community's response to the call to isolate apartheid South Africa. It is a solidarity that has also expressed itself strongly in the intellectual sphere, cultural and academic. Amongst the leaders of the new South Africa that is coming into being are many who found in Ireland's higher education system an opportunity for learning that was closed to them in their own country. Those who found refuge and a second home in Ireland have in turn brought back to South Africa the skills and knowledge they drew from your institutions of learning. Not least amongst them is one whose time at Trinity College has endowed him with erudition that is legend amongst his fellow cabinet ministers. In fact, he has a nickname. His nickname is the Minister of all cabinets because he speaks with authority on any subject that is discussed. We firmly believe, too, that their presence in your midst was enriching for your society. We believe this because that part of Ireland's soul that resides in South Africa, as in so many parts of the world, has been a vital thread in our history. Without setting any part of our Irish community above others, we would, on this academic occasion, remember in particular the contribution of Irish priests and nuns to the education of young South Africans when apartheid closed the doors of learning to the majority of our people. Today, those whose education was a consequence of Irish commitment and solidarity are to be found in every sphere of South African professional and public life, as our people work together to build a united, just, and prosperous nation. If we have made progress on the long and difficult path of reconstruction and development, as indeed we have, it is because that has been made possible by the freedom we won with the help of the international community and the peace that South Africans have secured in our country. Peace is the most powerful weapon for development. Peace is an essential condition for children to grow up loving one another. In this interdependent modern world, we can only harness the energies of our own country to the full and the partnership of others under conditions of peace and stability. Our own experience as South Africans has shown that no problem is so deep that it cannot be overcome, given the will of all those involved, through discussion and negotiation rather than force and violence. One of the most difficult experiences I have had is to change myself. Far more difficult than changing others. When we were faced with the question of negotiation, there was a conflict between our emotions and our thinking. Between our hot blood that refused to have anything to do with the leaders of the apartheid regime, and our brains that said, if you do not talk peace with these men and women who have oppressed us for centuries, our country will go up in smoke. We had to reconcile those two irreconcilable approaches. And without reconciling them, we would not have achieved what is regarded today as a miracle. It has shown us, too, that this outcome requires a recognition by all, leaders and people alike, that what they have in common outweighs the lesser things that divide them. In turn, this demands the courage to enter a process whose outcome depends on a readiness on every side to shift from entrenched positions so that the difference do not destroy the greater interests that are shared. And one of the most important things for real leaders is to appreciate that in every community, without exception, in every political party, whether that is of the oppressed community or of the oppressor, there are good men and women. And that if these good men and women who are going to play an important, if not decisive role, real leaders will ensure that we eliminate every kind of tension. Because when there is tension, it is the extremists who dominate. But men and women of talent take the upper hand when there is an environment of peace and relaxation. And if you want to serve your society, you have to make sure that you eliminate all kinds of tension. And in that regard, compromise becomes one of the most important weapons that you have. We firmly believe that in conferring this award through me on the people of South Africa, you are affirming the relevance of our experience for the rest of the world and for this island in particular. If that be so, then it would not be out of place on this occasion to encourage all parties in the Northern Ireland peace process to resolve all matters required for the implementation of the Good Friday Agreement. The fact that the process has started and come so far proves that the fundamental importance of peace has indeed been recognized by all the leaders. It demonstrates their human decency. It is inevitable that trust corroded by long years of division is slow to restore. But with courageous leadership and bold action by all to build the trust that is required for the last decisive steps. We are confident that the process will bring the peace and the institutions that are needed to assure all the children of Northern Ireland of the better future that they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, as the leaders of the century just beginning to face the challenges of world peace and development, bonds between peoples, such as those expressed in the honor you have conferred through me on the people of South Africa, will be of critical importance. We look forward, we look with hope towards the future, because today's ceremony is not only a commemoration of past achievements, but also a pledge of an enduring partnership for learning, peace, and justice. I want to conclude by telling another story, again which puts the complimentary remarks here in context. When I turned 75, I heard from my security at the gate that there was a young lady of between 4 and 5 who wanted to see me. I said, let her come in. They said, Mr. President, but she's very cheeky. I said, precisely for that, let her come in. Indeed, she was quite a lady. I was in my lounge. She did not knock. She did not greet me. The first question she put was, how old are you? I said, well, I'm not sure, but I was born long, long ago. She said, 2 years ago? I said, no, much longer than that. Then she suddenly changed subjects. Why did you go to jail? I say, no, I didn't go to jail because I wanted to. Some people sent me there. She said, who? I said, well, people who don't like me. And how long did you remain there? I say, well, again, I can't remember. But it was a very long, long time. Excuse me. And again, she repeated, 2 years ago? I said, no, much longer than that. But this time she insisted, but how long? I said, no, I've already told you that I can't remember, but it was a very, very long time. She then made this statement. You must be a stupid old man, aren't you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if what I have said does not measure up to expectations, please be a little more diplomatic than that young lady. Thank you.